Okay, so I have made the 6 jumps there and back. Although I've been playing since 2006, I can't say I was ever a big fan of mission running, and I'm still also getting used to this new unified inventory where your item hanger, where I had the clearance papers, was different than my ship's hanger, which had my clearance documents. That's now reversed. And that definitely caused me a bit of confusion. But as long as I went back, I was able to grab my small shield booster, which will drop in the item hanger, because we don't really need that guy right now. And the clearance papers, we will go ahead and turn into Aura.
Well done. You've made it to the system. I've relayed more information about the courses available to your Neocom. Each course is designed to let you try out various activities without any long-term commitment. You are free to take these courses in any order, so start with whatever interests you most.
And this is what I was eager to see exactly how they present really the different, I don't want to call them professions in EVE, but various things you can do in the sandbox that is EVE. Going down any one path really isn't going to limit your capabilities later on. I am worried about trying the military combat type options with the lack of a shield booster and a new player ship, although I'm hoping that they have these missions easy enough to handle that sort of thing. So we will start with something a little softer and go down the industry path. Um, Industry is generally considered to be both mining, going out and turning asteroids and ice into usable materials, and then production, which is taking those same things and making stuff out of them, although I'm vastly oversimplifying it. Um, but let's see what they show us and what it'll allow me to show you. So it looks like they're going to give us a mining laser. Ooh, a 91,000 ISK. Finally, we're looking at enough ISK that I can buy something useful. So they want us to go mine 999 units of Velspar in our current system, so we'll go ahead and accept that. Now that we've gotten the new um, through our fitting window, we can now access our mining laser to be able to put it on our ship. Since we only have one, we can go ahead and keep our blaster as well if we encounter any hostile NPCs in the form of rats in the asteroid belt that we choose to mine in. It could come in useful instead of having to just run away to another belt. And so we are good to go ahead and undock. Now mining, although it can be done in any ship with a turret mount that can fit a laser, there are ships that specialize in it called mining barges. If you're going to become a miner, it's definitely a path you'll want to look at. The Retriever doesn't take too much to get into. Instead of using these mining lasers, like the one I just fit, they actually have strip miners, which are much larger, have much longer cycle times, but can only be fit on mining barges. So if we right click, we can bring up our asteroid belt menu. We're just going to warp to the very first
Warp
asteroid belt
drive active.
and hope that it still has some Veldspar. So let's go ahead and also change our overview to a mining one. Now the other issue we might run into here is that our cargo hold will only hold 120 meters cubed of cargo. Um, our ammo is taking up a very small amount of that, but the 999 units of Veldspar, actually, if I'm not mistaken, that will only take up 99.9 in there. So we might be able to do this without having to come back. So let's find the nearest Veldspar. Looks like there's a lot of people that we're sharing these belts with. Uh, and we will go ahead and approach it. And I don't remember the exact range, but it looks like 10,000 meters. Once we're within 10,000 meters of this Veldspar, we'll be able to start mining it. So as you can see, we get ore from asteroids. The ore is then refined into minerals. The minerals are then produced with. They're in a triangular pattern. Veldspar only yields tritanium. Right now, tritanium prices are actually really high, so Veldspar is not a bad thing for anybody to be mining. This is going to bring us close enough that we can go ahead and stop. And a larger mining operation, especially one that isn't full of other new players. That cargo hold limitation that we ran into, what's a common method is you can eject items, and I'm going to shift drag right now so I can demonstrate this. So we're going to split off a unit of ammo. I can right click on that and choose jettison. That's going to create us a cargo container right here. And this cargo container, only me or my corp or gang mates can access this. If anybody else does, it gives us the right to shoot at them at least, as long as we're bigger and badder than them, we can. And this cargo container, as you can see, will hold 27,500 meters cubed, far more than our cargo hold. So what's common is to then mine as we're mining and gaining ore, which our laser's about to cycle, so we just got 440 units. We would drag and drop it into that cargo container. Another player then in our corp or in a gang that we're with could then do all of the hauling for us by just picking up and filling up from that one cargo container that we all share. Of course, that again will involve having some friends to work with, or if you have multiple accounts, you could, alt-tab back and forth and be mining on one character or multiple characters, and then having another character dedicated haul. In order to have multiple accounts, you can't just have multiple characters on your main account. You have to actually pay for a second EVE account, which is very common actually. Recently there was even a dev blog when they were talking about various graphical enhancements that when they do their testing, they actually do test to see how it runs on multiple clients running on the same computer, because that's definitely a consideration in EVE. And our laser cycled a second time. That got us to 880. Now we only need 990. We're getting 440 per cycle, which means a half cycle will provide us with enough ore to complete our mission, which is only my real concern. So I'm just going to wait for this little white line down here by my mining laser to get about halfway around. We'll shut it off, and then we can head back to station. And we'll go ahead and shut it off, and that got us to 1110. Now if it had cycled and, a full another cycle would have actually brought us over 120 meters cubed. It would have only fit in as much ore as it could fit, and then at that point it would shut off our mining laser instead of automatically cycling like it did before. But of course we shut it off before that became an issue, save some time. So now if we wanted to, we could actually just mine full time. We could just go back and forth with our little IBIS, and we can see that the estimated value of our Veldspar stack is about 16,300 ISK, and we could just fly back and forth doing what we just did, making more and more money. Of course, we could speed up by adding a second mining laser, or
Docking permission requested. Docking request
by expanding
accepted.
our cargo hold. We could warp back and forth less often if we had modules that expand our cargo space, and of course, ideally getting an entirely new ship. Which I'm sure it goes into down here with talking about the different ores, cargo hold, come back to station. Oh, it even discusses jet can mining. That's jettisoning and dragging and dropping stuff into. That's what I talked about earlier. It's most commonly referred to as jet can mining. Cooperation mining ventures, so that's where you'd actually join a corp and all mine together. And that's actually a pretty good tutorial for mining. I like how they covered the different topics, and if we'd wanted to, we could have sat there and read more about it. So that was pretty well done by EVE. So we complete our mission. Perhaps it wants... Oh, and that's horrible. Apparently you have to mine from the asteroid belt that the agent sends you to. So let's go ahead. What we could do here is refine the ore. Um, this is what really happens when people go out and mine, is their goal is to turn it into usable minerals. In this case, tritanium. I won't actually be doing this myself. As you can see, the net yield here is only 87.5%. There are a lot of players with better skills who are getting 99.5%. The station's also going to take 4.83%. Of course, there's people with higher standings at stations, which can reduce that down. So a combination of skills and standings can make it so that you essentially get 100% of the tritanium out, as opposed to me, who's only going to be getting a portion of it. 375 unrecoverable and 127 that they're going to take. So what we can do instead is right-click on our Veldspar and hit sell. And for 15.66 ISK each, we can sell this Veldspar, and now we just made 17,000 ISK. Isn't that nice? We're up to 26,000 now. So we'll go ahead and we'll call it a stop there. I'm going to go ahead back out and go to this asteroid belt that apparently my agent wants me to go to, so that I can go mine this Feldspar. And when I come back, we'll have been done with the first mining mission.